Hello folks, how are you today? I hope you're having a great day. Today I am going to show you one of the most useful stitches known to man. Something that actually an awful lot of you have emailed me about, phoned me about, etc. It is called flat knotting. That is the wonderful stitch that you see used as closures on a lot of bracelets, especially friendship bracelets, and it's another lovely stitch which I have used to make a bracelet called the Kiss Kiss bracelet. But that is another story, and it is another video that I will show you eventually. But flat knotting is just amazing, and it's terribly easy, and I think you're going to enjoy seeing how I have put it together for you. Okay, here in front of me is a great illustration of how to use flat stitch. This little knot here is actually what flat stitch looks like. Now I'm going to ask my wonderful camera woman to zoom into it so you can see, and she's going to wave at me when she's zoomed in. And then I'm just going to swivel this around because, believe it or not, this is a bracelet you'll be able to see on video afterwards. This is called my Kiss Kiss bracelet, but I have created the kisses here by using flat stitch. Now at the moment you'll be wondering how and why, but I will show you that later on. But basically what you need to know is this is the most divine knot for enabling you to have an adjustable bracelet, and it's one that's used an awful lot, and it's one that many of you say you find quite muddling because when you see it on a TV channel they don't spend enough time necessarily doing the stitch. So this is what I'm going to show you, and I'm now just going to take that off my board, and the way I propose to show you how to do it is I've knotted together two pieces in fact of this wonderful knotting cord. One is red, one is green, and then you'll be able to see it. Obviously you won't have a red and green one, you'll have the same colour, but it will help you to differentiate what I'm doing. And for the middle piece I have a blue piece. Okay, so what I would always recommend you do is you put a stopper bead or whatever bead you're going to have featured on the end of your central cord, and I'm just tying, for the purpose of illustration to you, a very simple over the hand knot. And the reason you will need a stopper bead, especially if you're just using it as a closure, is it stops you, there we go, pulling it all the way through. So you need a knot, a bead, a decoration. Well, I always like to do that anyway. So I've done that, and I'm going to pin my line down on my marvellous board, Kleshna's marvellous board. I have to tell you, these are a godsend, and I created this board because when I very first learnt to do jewellery, I was taught to knot by a lady who actually did all the crown jewels knotting for our wonderful, most esteemed British royal family, and she had a padded board, and I've kind of replicated that in a commercial way. Always a good thing to do. Right, let us start. Will you forgive me if I do a quick that's much better. Right, what I normally do is I will take a pin and I will pin it, say about 8 centimeters down through here, because that's roughly where, if I'm going to flat knot in a central part of a piece of jewellery, I will do it. If I'm doing it as a closure, I will normally put both ends like this, and I will pin, just because I like to have these two pieces of cord side by side rather than jumbled. So what I then do is I put the closure pieces together, and I normally pin, I hope you can see this, hold on, I'm just going to ask, can we see this? I will normally pin through those two there, and through these two here, and then do my flat knotting on top of these two lines, okay? But just for the purpose of getting you to understand the stitch, I'm going to pin this piece down here at the bottom, and I'm going to show you how to do this marvellous stitch. Right. One of the other things I like to call this is mind your P's and Q's. Now, if you think of a P and a Q, a P going that way and a Q going that way, they've both got, if you imagine the P going onwards, it will have a tail. So let us start. Right, I'm going to mind my P's. So the green piece is going over the top of the blue here. That's the end bit of the P, okay? The red piece is coming over the top of the green, which is the tail of the top of the P going over there. I'm going to make a little loop with this piece. Can you see the cross here? I'm going to go under this and under this, and I'm going to pull that very gently. That's the first loop. And always keep an even tension when you're doing this. I'm now going to make a Q. So basically going over this way, I'm going to get my red piece that goes over the top of my green bit here, make a little loop. I mean, eventually you'll end up by pushing it under, and you push that loop underneath that, pull that through, and you have your second flat knot. So mind your P's, the red bit comes over the green bit here, underneath here with your loop, pull it through, and there we have the other one. Mind your Q's, put your red or your right hand over here, make a little loop, push it underneath the two, and pull that through. And we've done another one. We're going to do another P. We're going to bring the red one over, make a little loop, go underneath the cross of this line, and pull it through. See how easy this is? You see, I promised you it wasn't difficult. There's my Q. Bring the red one over the top of the green one, make a little loop, push it under here, and bring it through. Mind your P's. Bring this over the top here, make a little loop, and bring it through. Mind your Q's. Oop. Bring the red one over the top of the green one, make a little loop, push it up here, hold it there, and bring it through. Can you see how easy this is? I promised you it was going to be easy. Put the red one over here, pull the green one down over the top, make a little loop, push it underneath here, and pull it through. Does that make sense to you? Now, I have done something wrong here, which is probably a very fortuitous thing to do. Shall I tell you I did it on purpose? Right, can you see something here? I just want to show you. This is because I wasn't concentrating. And can you see, these are all red, or you will have basically stitches coming like that, jumping over. If you don't have the stitch in the right place, what will happen is you will start twisting your flat knot. Now, if you want your flat knot to go into spiral, that's a very clever thing to do. However, the reason you know whether to do a P or a Q is if you look at this here, the last one came over that way. Now, it's always the second cord that you use that makes the jump over. So what I did was I did a Q when I should have done a P. Sounds rude, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to put a P over here, which is what I should have done, because I want that stitch to come over here to keep the uniformity of this. Then I'm going to go up here. There we go, I'm back on track. Can you see what I did wrong? Now this is something you should take note of, because sometimes I have done this stitch in haste and I've looked at it and I've gone, oh, that looks wrong. What have I done wrong? And this is what you can do wrong very easily. So I think that you will go mad if you sit here watching me go P, Q. Do you see what I mean? After a while you stop making a little loop, you just start pushing it under. And now I'm speeding up on this stitch. No, it isn't wonderful camera work that's speeding it up like the Keystone Cops or one of the old movies. It's how quickly this stitch can be done. It's very easy, it's very simple, and I do commend it to you enormously. And I hope that for all of you out there who have found this very difficult, that using this red and green, this has made it a lot easier for you. So enjoy doing your flat knotting, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.